Hello and welcome to I Do in the Caribbean Facebook group. And if you're joining me on the Event Trail Destination and Wedding Facebook group, hello to you all. And also, if you're joining me on my YouTube channel, Event Trail, just want to give you all a very warm, Monday morning, well, really Monday afternoon, welcome. Um, it's a rainy day in New York here, but things have to happen. So I am here. I'm Sandra. I am the admin for this group. I am a travel advisor specializing in destination wedding in the Caribbean or Mexico. So if you're looking to plan your wedding and you need help, you can definitely reach out to me and I'll most certainly try to help you. We're here today to talk about top 10 frequently asked questions about planning a destination wedding that I get. So, as a wedding planner, I do get a lot of questions from couples looking to plan their destination wedding. And I thought today would be a good idea just to answer some of those questions because I know a couple of people are new to the group. And if you are thinking about having a destination wedding, what should you be thinking about if you're doing one? So definitely I wanted to give you good information so you can make an informed decision if you want to have a destination wedding. So the first thing I would say people ask me, and that this is the most asked question, how do I start? How do you start planning a destination wedding? Definitely, if you think the destination wedding is what you want, the first thing the most important thing is to have a budget. And I mean, have a budget, just get an idea of what a destination wedding would cost before you go all full, into it, because it can be costly and there might be expenses that you don't expect. So really you need to do the research to make sure that you have the right budget to have a destination wedding. And within that destination wedding budget, these are things that you need to include in order to understand if it's, if a destination wedding is for you. You need to get the wedding package, whatever that cost is, the cost of decor, room costs, flight and transportation. If you're going to do tours, wedding attire, gift bags, depending on what you're planning for your wedding, these are costs that you need to get an idea of what this is so you can understand if you can really afford to have a destination wedding. The other thing I would say is important is the number of people you're planning to have at your destination wedding, because this will drive your costs, because a lot of packages start at 10 or 20, for the wedding packages, and it goes up depending on how many people you bring. So the more people you bring, the more it's going to cost you to have a destination wedding. So definitely you need to know how much money you have to start with and how many people you're planning on inviting. And remember, you're going to invite people to your wedding, but not everyone will be able to attend your wedding. So think about that. Some people won't be able to attend your wedding because of the cost of actually paying for accommodation and flights to get to your wedding. And also maybe they don't have passports. So definitely think about these things when you're having a destination wedding. Who are you planning on inviting? Do they have passport? Will they be able to travel? So that's very important. So the next question I would say I get is when to start. And if you're having a destination wedding, I think the earlier you start, the better. But at least 12 months out is recommended. It's not, you don't have to do 12 months, but 12 months just give you enough time to do all the research, to look into what destination you want, to find the right resort, to look at the wedding packages. You just want to have time to look at these things to make sure you're making the right decision. And you can do a wedding in 9 months. It's just that you also want to give the guests, the people you're trying to invite, time to prepare to, the expense to go to your wedding. So you want to give enough time so they can say, oh, if I'm attending your wedding in 9 months and it's going to cost me $2,000, it's so much money I need to have to attend your wedding. So you definitely want to give people enough time to when to start. You want to start as soon as possible if you're thinking of doing one. The next thing, if you want to do a site inspection, you want to see the wedding location, you want to give yourself time between now and when your wedding is to be able to visit the resort. If you want to meet with the wedding department, look at the location that's available, taste the food, meet with the staff and all the vendors. You want to give yourself enough time that you can schedule that site visit, because there's a lot of couple who, you're doing a wedding sight unseen, meaning that for most people, you won't see the destination until you actually arrive at the resort. So if you want to definitely give yourself time to make sure it's a right resort, you want to start as soon as possible so you can actually do a site inspection and know that the resort is the right one for you. How to pick the right destination. That is these are some tough questions. A destination is really based on your personal preference. Where have you been before that you enjoy? You said, oh, this would be a good place for you to get married, or someplace maybe you haven't been to before. You want a Caribbean wedding, you want someplace on the beach. So there's lots of reasons why people pick certain destinations, but it's really up to you, and you need to look at certain things so you can make a good decision. One of them I would say, is there three destinations that are cost effective, or there's lots of choices, so people tend to go to those places, and those are Mexico, Dominican Republic, and Jamaica. They're just easier to get to. In Mexico and there's so many resort that you can choose from, so you can, depending on your budget, you can find something that fits your budget. And Jamaica also have a lot of destination compared to other islands that they're budget friendly. It all depends on what you're looking for. So definitely picking the right destination is knowing what you're looking for, what type of wedding are you having also. So if I said Mexico and DR, if you're trying to get a legal wedding there, it's going to cost you more to do a legal wedding. And what I mean a legal wedding is like when you get married, it's a legal binding arrangement. So you are legally married in that country. Versus a symbolic wedding is you get married here in the US first, and then you just do a wedding ceremony, which is symbolic. It's not legal in that country. So to me, I always tell my guests, if you're going to do a wedding in Mexico or DR, do it first in the US and just do a symbolic wedding. It's just easier. If you're doing a wedding in Mexico, it requires you to have a blood test. And also the wedding's going to be in Spanish if it's legal. And then your documents have to be translated back into English. So it's definitely costs a little bit more, and it's more time consuming for you to do a legal wedding in those countries because it's Spanish speaking. So the documents are going to be in Spanish, and you have to pay to get them translated back into English for you. So that's something to think about when you're picking a destination, the type of wedding you're having. Is it going to be a real legal wedding in that country, or it's just going to be a symbolic wedding? So that's definitely something to think about. Also, the time of year you're getting married. When you're picking a destination, in Mexico during the summer months, I was just in Mexico in June. The beaches along Cancun and some of the other places are full of seaweed. So if it's not something you want to see, some of the beaches aren't quite swimmable because there's so much seaweed. So when you think about the time of year you're doing your wedding, you want to make sure that you're not going to have stuff that's going to stand in your way from you having that perfect day. And, along with that, I would say, look at hurricane season also. Hurricane season starts in June to like November in the Caribbean. So anything can happen that could, not give you that perfect day that you're looking for. So definitely think about, hurricane season when it's more rainy in that destination. Make sure you're not picking those dates that would kind of impact your wedding date. And also, things to think about. It's sometimes cheaper to have a wedding in the fall than it is during the summer or during a holiday, during winter time. It just tends to be a little bit cheaper because kids are back to school and there's less travel during those fall months. So it can be cheaper to have a wedding in that time frame. So definitely something to look at. The next thing I would say, look at the cost of flights and availability. I'm in New York. I can fly almost anywhere, and there's always direct flights. I have lots of carriers that I can choose from. So it's easy for me to look to see, if I'm going to Jamaica, if I'm going to Mexico or DR, which ones is cheaper for me to travel and my guests, and also how much it's going to cost me. So, these are not the reasons why you're doing a destination wedding, but you really need to think about this, especially when you invited other guests to come celebrate that special day with you. You want to make sure that, you think about their needs also, because even though it's your wedding, you're inviting people to come celebrate with you. So you have to really think about how it impacts them when you make that decision. So you pick your destination. Now, how do you find the right resort? I would say the way to pick the right resort is to understand what your vision is for your wedding. Are you looking for a beach wedding? Do you want an over the water chapel? Are you looking for a rooftop? Are you looking for a jungle feel? Do you want a garden wedding? So once you kind of decide what type of wedding you're looking for, then you can start looking at resort that offers these things that you're looking for. Because a lot of weddings, a lot of venues don't have rooftop, which is more private, and I would highly recommend that. And all the resorts have beaches, so it all depends on what you're looking for. So look for that. Then you're going to look at the wedding packages. What does the wedding package includes? How much more it's going to cost you to have your wedding at that resort, and to understand what the extras are in staying at that resort. I would say the other thing to look at is the cost of the rooms. What does it cost per night to stay in that resort? Is the resort luxury? Is it modern? Do they offer a room type that you're looking for? If you're looking for a swim out room, you want something beachfront. These are things you look at and analyze when you're trying to pick that resort, just to make sure all the things that you're looking for are in that resort. So you should have a checklist of what you're looking for in a resort to make sure it has all the things you're looking for. I would look at the nightlife, the food, entertainment, and also customer service. These are things that you really want to think about when you're picking that resort, and just not pick it because of the name, but pick it because it's checking all the boxes that you're looking for. Next question, should I have my wedding at an all-inclusive resort or just pick a venue? I'll go with all-inclusive first. For me, I always recommend an all-inclusive resort. It's just it's almost like a package deal. If you're inviting guests, it will include their room, food, entertainment, everything would be included in that package price. So it gives them an idea of what it's going to cost them to go to your wedding at that particular resort, and everything is included, so they don't need to spend anymore when they get there. So that's always nice. For like I've said, the room is $1,200. They know $1,200 is going to cover the room, the entertainment, all the food and drinks, and that's what they need to pay, plus the cost of air. So it just gives guests an idea of what it's going to cost them to attend the wedding. It just makes it a lot more easier. Also, for all-inclusive for the couple, it's easy because these resort, they do weddings every day, so they have everything you need to host your wedding, from your ceremony, your cocktail hour, to your reception. They can do it all for you. They have all the staff there, all the vendors. You can also bring in your outside vendors if you want, like if you're bringing a DJ, if you're bringing a photographer. But just to make sure, please ask the resort, because most of them charge a vendor fee if you're bringing someone from outside to do things at your wedding. So just make sure that you are aware that there is additional fee if you're using someone other than the resort vendors. So that is definitely something to think about when you are looking for an all-inclusive. It's just everything is there, entertainment for your guests, so you don't have to worry about how you're going to entertain them. That if you're looking to do your destination wedding at a venue, almost like you're doing a traditional wedding in the US, you pick a venue. They sometimes have vendors they work with, and you use those vendors. So you have to rent the venue, then all the things that go into the venue, the chairs, the plates, the decor, hiring photographers. So, doing a venue, you have to either have a wedding planner or, in destination to help you source all the vendors, get everything together for your event. That to me is just more work. But the good thing is that you can pick a venue you want. Suppose if you're going to get married at a waterfall, suppose you want to get married in the jungle, these things can be arranged. They are not cookie cutter. Like, I wouldn't say all the resorts are cookie cutter, but it would be something different that you want to explore. So, a venue just means a little bit more work, a little bit more coordination. The guests, the good thing is that your guests can really stay anywhere, because you're not really having a wedding at a resort. It's at a venue, so they just have to show up. So that gives them more flexibility to stay in an Airbnb, in a hotel, wherever they want to be. They just have to be at the venue on the day of the wedding. The drawback is you're not all together, meaning that people are staying here, people are staying there. But having a wedding all-inclusive, it just brings everyone together. You have time to spend time together. So it just makes it like a really good, fun weekend with family and friends. So that's why I always do all-inclusive, because everybody can just about, lock up their wallets in the safe and be able to just enjoy the resort and party there and just have a good time. So for me, I always recommend all-inclusive. A venue is great, especially if you're looking for something unique and you can find some place that gives you what you want. But it's the whole idea of planning it in that destination with vendors and making that vision you have come true. So it can be done. It's just a little bit different. So if you're thinking of doing that. What is a room block and do I need one? If you're looking to have a destination wedding of over 20 or more persons attending, I would suggest getting a room block. And a room block is really taking a block of room. 10 is most time the minimum rooms you can do in a room block. 15, depending on how many people you're planning on having your wedding, planning on having a wedding for 40, I would say block 20 rooms. And you're blocking these rooms and holding them for your guests to book at a later time. And having a room block requires a deposit from the couple to hold the rooms. It could be $500, it could be $100 a room. It all depends on the resort. So the couple paid a deposit to hold the rooms, and that deposit later on can go towards the client's room or it can be refunded also. So they're not losing the money. It's just a way of holding these rooms for your guests to have to book when they're ready to book their room for your destination wedding. Having a room block also gives you the benefit that it's a set price, so that price does not fluctuate, and the rooms are in that block and they're guaranteed you have these rooms for your wedding. So that's a good thing. Having a room block also comes with all the perks. You can get free rooms. Some resort or some group contract could be for every 5 room you book, you get the 6th one free or the 10th one free, or you could have a private cocktail hour. You can, sometimes they have a welcome cocktail included in these group contracts. You could also have free events. You could have discounts off spa treatment. You could get room upgrades. So it's good to have the room block because it comes with perks that the couple can use towards their wedding. I have room blocks in which if you book 75 room nights or more, you can get $1,000 towards your air. So definitely it's something to consider when you're getting married. Should I get a room block or should I have all my guests book whenever they want with whomever they want? So, there's 2 ways of doing it. You can hold the rooms for them to book into that block, or you can have your guests book the hotel, wherever they want to book, whether Expedia, whether directly with the resort, they can do that. The only problem I see with that is that you can't control, or you don't know who's booked what. And with a destination wedding, you don't want to overpay, meaning that, people can RSVP saying they're coming. And if they don't book a room, in my eyes, they're not coming. But how do you know if they book a room if they don't tell you they book a room? But with a group contract, normally the travel professional like myself would get the group contract. I would control it. So I would be in contact with the couple, telling them, yes, we have 10 rooms, 8 guests booked. I can tell them who booked. So there is communication. They know who has booked, who they can include in their numbers, because they need to pay for the amount of people that's attending your wedding. Now, you don't want to pay for people that RSVP, yes, but they never showed up because they never booked a room. So definitely having a room block gives you control over the rooms that are allocated for your wedding, who's booked, exactly who's coming, because if they booked a room, they can be included in your wedding count, because that means that they're coming. So it's a good way to have control around who's coming to your wedding and knowing who is booked and who hasn't booked. So that's good. And also it just eliminates people booking the wrong resort, because, I just came from Dreams Natura in Cancun. There's like 6 other Dreams resorts. If you tell them, oh, I'm getting married in Dreams in Cancun, you could be at any other Dreams resort because there's so many of them. So definitely having that room block just makes it simple, and people are booking the right resort and not just booking a Dreams resort. They're booking the right one. So that's definitely something to consider if you're doing a wedding with more than 20 people. Do I need to send formal invitation? With what's going on in this world, you don't need to send formal invitation, but I would suggest you do send a save the date as soon as you finalize your resort and you've booked your wedding date and everything is set. Then you can save the date so people can have enough time to start preparing to book their rooms and their flights for your wedding. So I don't see the need for formal invitation. Is if your budget permits you to send out actual printed invitation in the mail, but definitely you don't have to do formal. But if you're doing the save the date and you're doing a destination wedding, I do recommend that you do like a wedding web page or something where guests can go to get information about your wedding. You share information in there because you need to control who you're inviting and being able to communicate with them so you can tell them what's going on. So for me, when I have wedding couples, I create a wedding web page for them. So all information about the resort, the schedule of events are on the wedding web page, a link to book their rooms. So, anything that the couple, or if they're doing an excursion, all that stuff will be on the wedding web page. The clients or the guests can reach out to me if they have specific questions, because part of my job as a destination wedding specialist is to help the couple, alleviate the stress and be their buffer. So all questions kind of get directed towards me and not to the couple, so they can think about just planning their actual wedding. So, formal invitation is really up to you, but definitely a save the date with the proper information in there is a must, so people can start planning early. Should we host a welcome event? That's definitely up to you, but I would say that's a great idea, only because welcome event, like a welcome cocktail before the wedding, there's people flying in from all over that you invited. They don't know each other. They're in a resort. It's a good way for everyone to meet each other before the wedding. Also, a very good idea for the couple to just thank the guests for coming, show your appreciation. I think also that's a good time if you're giving any goodie bags, if you're giving you're bringing any welcome bags. That's a good time to give it out to the guests, but it's just a time for you to hang out with them before before your wedding day, to share time with them, show appreciation, and also try to enjoy the resort as much as possible. So I think having a welcome event is a great idea if you can afford to include it in your wedding budget. It's definitely good to have it. Some people have farewell event, but at that point, it's really up to you. But definitely hosting a welcome event, I think, is a great idea. If you can include that in your wedding budget, I would definitely go for that. What's included, not included in wedding packages? Oh, that's a good one. Most wedding packages include everything you need to get married for a ceremony. So, and some of them will include something for cocktail and something for reception. And it's basic, meaning that you can get married at a gazebo. There might be a little bit of draping, but not too much. The chairs will be included, but they're just regular chairs. And the service of a minister is normally included when it's symbolic. So you have everything you need to get married there, and then they might have a cocktail hour with some champagne or some cocktail, and then you can have either dinner in a semi-private dinner in a restaurant, and that could be your wedding package. But if you're looking for a formal wedding package, something private, then you really have to, not every resort gives you that. Like you have to book a certain amount of people. So not everything you need. Everything you need can be included in the wedding package, but not everything you want is in there. So if you're looking to privatize your wedding, it all depends on which resort you're looking for. A lot of them don't give you a private event, but some of them do give you a private event. So what I mean private event, if you want to have a reception, which you would want to be private. If you want to have a DJ dancing, so that's a private event. If it's in a restaurant, it's semi-private, and you can't have a DJ because obviously it's a restaurant. So definitely when you're looking at your wedding packages, look what's included. Look if it says private, or semi-private, because those are very important words. If you're looking to have fun and you want to have a DJ and all that stuff, you definitely have to privatize it and look at the additional cost to do that. I would definitely, most wedding package does not include photographer, videography, DJ. I would say flowers are not included in most wedding packages. So definitely when you look at the wedding package, you want to get all the add-ons. How much do they cost to get a dance floor, to get up lights, to get, your names in light, to get, all these things are going to cost additional money. So definitely the basic stuff is mostly included in the wedding packages, but all the stuff that you want, the stuff you want to make the memories from, sometimes it's a one-tier cake. So if you want decoration on the cake, it's going to cost a little bit more money. So definitely you need to read your wedding packages carefully to make sure that it has what you're looking for. And then if you want the extras, like a DJ, right now DJ can run $750 for 3 hours. So, these things are not cheap. If you want up lights, it's like $1,800. If you want a dance floor, it's $1,000. If you want it lighted, it's $1,500. So, you look at a wedding package costing $599, and when you add all the extras, you could easily be at $15,000. So definitely you have to look at a wedding package and go through it to make sure it includes everything you're looking for your wedding. a lot of people just want a simple wedding, and if you want a simple wedding on the beach, that can be done easily without additional cost. So definitely something to look at on what's included. So I just said not everything is included, and if you want photos and videos, most times the packages doesn't include any of those things, and they come with additional costs. Number 10, do I need a travel agent or a destination wedding specialist? I'm a travel agent / destination wedding specialist. That's what I do. I specialize in helping couples plan their destination in the Caribbean. And if you're willing to do the research and put the time in, you can plan your destination wedding yourself. It just takes a lot of coordination. You have to reach out to the resort. You have to, pay the deposit. You have to either get a group contract or tell the guests where you're going to be hosting a wedding so they can book. But having a destination wedding specialist, I'm the one who's going to be doing all the research. We have a consultation. You'll let me know what you're looking for, your vision for your wedding, your budget, and based on that and my experience of planning destination wedding, I can give you like 3 choices that could fit your vision and your budget. And based on that, you will select a resort. We would book your wedding date. And then depending on how many people are coming, I would have a group block contract for you. So all your guests can book. I would create a wedding web page for you. So all your guests would know where to go, get information on the wedding. I would be your point person. So any questions you have, you come to me. Any questions your guests have, they come to me. So you don't have to worry about that. I would keep you on track to make sure that, you know how many people have booked. You've met with your wedding department or the wedding planners on property. I can be part of that meeting if you want, because I am a wedding specialist also. So I understand what goes into actually planning the wedding events there on property. I would, make sure that, you have everything, all information you need to help you plan the wedding. So it really is up to you if you want to hire someone or not. But having a travel agent, being able to book the rooms for your guests, book their accommodation, book their transportation, that is something that I can do because I can do those things. I'm a travel professional, so I can do all the things that come with getting people from point A to point B. But the other thing that I bring to the table is my experience as a bride myself. I did my destination wedding in Jamaica in 2015. I've done numerous destination wedding. I understand what you're feeling. You're feeling frustrated. You're overwhelmed with so much information. How do I make the right choice? So by hiring somebody who's experienced, this is where, I can share my experience with you and help you through that process. So it's not so stressful and it's an enjoyable process. So definitely, if you're looking to plan your destination wedding and you need help, please feel free to reach out to me. I hope this information that I shared was helpful to you. If you have any specific questions, please feel free to leave me a comment. I'll be more than happy to answer your question. And also, as I said before, if you need help, reach out to me. I am available. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, have a great day.